down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
And let's start the show.
I think they heard that too. Welcome back on this beautiful Monday. Hope you guys had a beautiful weekend. As you see, Anson won't be with us today, but my guy, my right hand, well, now today he's my left hand. Shout out to my boy, Brandon Kool-Aid Dent in the building.
What up, no, bro? You know what, man? I feel like we got some news that took off today.
Man, I was legitimately ready to come in here, talk to Sweet Potato Cameras, and say what's up,
Had the
what's
whole
going
show,
on.
man. My guy Bray cooked up a whole show.
B-Lad is over there cooking on the in Kool-Aid's absence, if you will, in the TJ
yeah.
booth. Was ready to talk about the weekend, talk about the Grand Prix. I was down in Chicago doing the autograph signing session and this huge festival that they do, and the Chicago Bears fans was talking shh. They was talking shh. Colston Loveland was down there, got a chance to see my fellow U of M guy. He was talking.
Shout out.
He was talking. And we legitimately came up with
their
an
miles
idea.
down there.
They are, and rightfully so. But we were coming up with a topic for the day, and we were like, yeah, why do you buy into the Detroit Lions? What are the 3 reasons that make you buy into this team this year? And 20 minutes ago, via Adam Schefter, found out about this craziness that is the NFL around this Myles Garrett, who has been trying to get out of Cleveland for the past 2 years. Last year before the season, you remember him saying, right after the season was over in 24, he said, look, I'm out. They give him the contract extension. He plays through the season last year. He breaks the NFL sack record at 23 and a half. And now the Rams and Les Snead always said, F them picks. They have now word they are trading Myles Garrett to the Cleveland Browns for Gerard Verse, who's a hell of a player. He ain't Myles Garrett, for the 2027 first-round pick, as well as him, and there will be some other picks added to this deal. A lot to talk about, a lot to digest.
Bro.
Let's start here. Kool-Aid, Sweet Potato. Chat, how does this make you feel? Because I'll go first. You can go ahead and take that off the table. Because as my boy Sweet Potato said, that ain't nothing but a pipe dream. Come on, Myles Garrett. We were in talks trying to get him last year, but here it is, a move that works. Your thoughts, Kool-Aid?
This is one of the things I remember we said, hey, look, we're glad that Brad Holmes was knocking on the door. You remember when the reports came out that, Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, that we were kind of knocking on some doors, even the Max Crosby stuff came out. And what was one of the things we continued to state? Can you imagine if one of the people that we have to contend with to make it to the playoffs, one of the people we have to contend with to get to the Super Bowl gets one of those guys? And wouldn't you know it, it would be the Rams, who have always, throughout the course of Stafford's career, they have done whatever they needed to do to try and get this man in Super Bowl positioning. Whether it's worked out or not, I can no longer sit back and be like, well, that's just because they put everything around Matthew Stafford. That's because they went and they stocked up. I can no longer do that anymore. I can't hate on Stafford because this organization is deciding that they want to try every single year to win a championship, to win a Super Bowl, to play for a Super Bowl. Yeah. And to know that you want to maximize Stafford's window right now over these next couple years of weirdness, especially after what you did in the draft, you know what? What a way. Because Stafford was sitting back saying, but I wanted stars. I bet you he's happy right now. I bet you he's happy right now.
1,000%. I guarantee you he forgot that they drafted Ty Simpson with that 13 pick. Oh. I guarantee they forgot about that. Because now Myles Garrett is here, man. Look, B-Lad bringing you in on this conversation is a Sweet Potato. You always want them to go get somebody. You want teams to make moves, and this is what we've been clamoring around, at least some people. The Rams said, look, man, we're going. The window is now. The time is now. What do you think about this move? Because this is a team that also went and got Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
They also went and got Trent McDuffie. They've also added some more pieces because as good as this team was last year, they were not good enough. They lost to the Carolina Panthers down there. They lost to the Seattle Seahawks twice when the money was on the line. They go and short the DB position, Trent McDuffie, and now you bring in a guy in Myles Garrett who's the best at his position, and the best maybe we'll be having a different conversation years to come.
Yeah, and another thing is this Stafford's not going to be around for much longer in the NFL, so they're obviously trying to sell all out and try and get another ring for him ultimately. But another thing about it is the Browns honestly didn't get too bad of a deal either, I think. Jared Verse, obviously one of the more younger, more talented players in the NFL, plus another draft pick. And according to reports, there's definitely more draft picks added onto this trade besides that 2027 first rounder, which will probably be like the 32nd overall pick, 31st overall pick. So that's another thing too, is the Browns also didn't get too bad of a deal. They get MYLES Garrett off the books. Obviously, he signed that contract extension, and he's a very expensive player. But as far as the way I look at it, they're just trying to sell out for Stafford one more time, try and get him that ring, and then they're going to move on with Ty Simpson or whoever they have, moving forward. But yeah, LA is spoiled, man. And I, as a Lions fan, this hurts my heart because we've had so many opportunities to make a trade like this. We've had the pieces in place to sell all out as well. But, as Anson touched on, he's not here today. The Lions aren't really looking for all that. They're looking for consistent football for a long period of time, and that's why they like the players they draft and they extend them all. But at the same time, we had our opportunity to get something like this, whether that was MYLES Garrett, whether that was Max Crosby, you name it, a bunch of other guys out there. But, yeah, as a Lions fan, this hurts my heart a little bit for sure.
Yeah, 1,000%, man. You look at this situation, this is crazy. And Chuck Brewer, you're absolutely correct. I've been appreciating Chuck Brewer's comments over the past week or two. This makes sense why they draft Ty Simpson. You legitimately have Matt Stafford for a year or two, coach Ty Simpson, teach Ty Simpson, who also has Sean McVay as his offensive coordinator. But you're building a young squad full of demons, and I don't mean that in a spiritual bad way. I mean that in a sense you're bringing some
competitive way,
some
records. I know
records.
what you mean.
You're making some people that can wreck the conversation. MYLES Garrett, look at this young infrastructure, because B-Lad, you brought up a very valid point off air. This team isn't an old team anymore. When you look at the average age of the Los Angeles Rams, outside of the quarterback, the number 2 wide receiver, they're a young squad. So it makes sense moving forward.
But that's why they can also say F them picks. You know
exactly.
what? They got to be careful because we know, F them kids, and then all of a sudden Kelly Stafford got things to say about you. But this is a situation where you see here, she loves me on payday with the $2 super chat. Thank you guys for always supporting. Smash that like button.
Appreciate that.
See, y'all got to treat her right, man. Treat the like button right today. Yeah. But she loves me on payday. $2 super chat says, the Rams are the epitome of going for it. Wow. And that's what I think all of us are feeling now. At first, it was something that, like I told y'all, I would hate on. But when you're looking at the way they operate, when you look at how the Eagles went and got their championship, these are teams that press the button and then press the button again and press it again. And, Brad, to your point, B-Lad, this is where I'm wondering, if the
Rams
rest
got
of the
you
league,
flustered over there. You don't know what you're saying.
You're
flustered.
And that's where I'm about to go. If this is where the league is going, if this is where the top teams in your division are going, is this the way that Brad Holmes has to operate now? Because this is all supposed to be about a Super Bowl. They're selling Super Bowls to us. These are things that they're saying. So even though Anson might be right, to your credit, B-Lad, in terms of what consistency they're actually playing for, they're telling us and they're telling people who are getting on tickets, we want to go for a Super Bowl. Is it time for the Lions to operate the way that we see the Rams doing things, the way we see the Eagles doing things?
Yeah, twofold, man. Thing one, as it relates to Anson. Anson has been screaming this for as long as I've known him, as long as I've known him. It's all about consistency. This is no longer that old NFL. This ain't the NFL I played in. When NFL I got drafted into, my contract was 7 years. Option after 6. I repeat, 7 years, option after 6. That's what my contract was back in the day before I played. Guys played for the same team forever. You could build and develop so that you have a longer window. So it elongates. Hey, you're really good for 7 years. You're really good for 8 years. You're really good for 9 years. That ain't the case no more. That's not the case no more. Last week, we weren't talking about football. We weren't talking about the NFL. But what was I talking about with the Red Wings and the Tigers? I said, move some of these players that you're falling in love with. They ain't that good. They're not that good.
Talk to him.
MYLES Garrett's Cleveland Browns looked at him and said, look, you know what, you're great, but we can't win with you. You're great, but we can't win with you. We haven't won a thing when MYLES Garrett is as good as he is. You know what? Jared Verse is young. We can build around him. We can add some other pieces to make our team better. This is the move we made, and they did. They pulled the trigger. It's not about building a long window forever. How good is Jared Goff going to be in for how long? How long is Jared Goff going to be the quarterback that you guys believe in?
Right.
The time is now. We had opportunities for Max Crosby, but you told us we couldn't do this because we had to get J-Mo's situation together. Okay, Herbie Joseph, Terry and Arnold. Then we had Trey Hendrickson. Then we had last year Myles Garrett. There's been opportunities to make moves, but because you want to make the run last longer, it's like, all right, well, we won't do it because we want to build through the draft and do this. At some point. Dog,
Braylon was just cooking up, man. Let's see Crazy Clown in the chat. He was like, Braylon knows. And for me, like, to know that the Lions are actually in flirtation mode, supposedly with some of these deals, and then the Max Crosby stuff leaked. And then they were like, no, we're not going to do that anymore because of Terry and Arnold. It was just like, whoa, where are we going here? What's going on? And I just assumed maybe there's something else that's lined up down the way because I saw from other media people saying things as if like, well, this is not the only pass rusher out there. This is not the only move that you can make. And you know what? To be fair, I want to get your take on this super chat here. Because they're already throwing them in the chat, man.
Let's
so
go. Let's get it going.
Keep
Let's
it
get it
rolling,
going.
Jack.
Super
Keep it
chat.
rolling.
So
We want to hear your
definitely.
takes.
Will I Am 550 says with the $5 super chat, hey, the Lions have the better roster. That's what he believes between the Lions and the Rams.
Okay.
He believes that they have two pass rushers. The Rams only did this trade because they know they will meet the Lions in the playoffs, and I'm assuming Aiden Hutchinson, and he's penciling in more to be that other pass rusher for the Lions. But what do you think about this?
Think about that. They're still a better team on the
He
roster.
thinks the Lions are the better team roster-wise.
No.
Hey,
No.
Absolutely not. Like, you're hoping that your defense is better this year when guys come back. Is Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch coming back 100%?
We still
Do we
don't
know what that
know.
is?
We still don't
Who
know.
are our other two linebackers? Is it Derek Barnes and Malcolm Rodriguez? Is that what we're going with? Like, what makes you think that this roster is better than that one? Like, this is a roster last year. They have a very similar roster than they did last year, and I thought that they were the better team. Special teams in the DB position held them back. Guess what? New special teams coach, and they also got two new DBs. One is arguably the best DB in the league right now, Trent McDuffie. So when you look at this, they match up against the Detroit Lions extremely well, 1,000% well. And for you to say, do they look – I'm just laughing at the conversation because I'm not telling you that you got to go out and spend. You don't have to go out and do exactly what the Rams get. I'm just saying that the Rams, that the Eagles, and teams like that, they're not getting caught up on what we can be 6-7 years from now. What are we going to be within this next 3 years? That's how everything is moving. Every sport, except for maybe hockey.
well, you know what? Let me see here. Blimpy says, and they're blaming it on you now. Well, Braylon should have gotten Myles Garrett here. He played in Cleveland. He did put the laughing emoji.
Legitimately, last season when Myles Garrett said, so it was after the 24 season. You know what I'm saying? I still have ties to Cleveland. After the 24th season, Myles Garrett said, I'm done. Scrubbed his socials.
Yeah.
I'm done with the Cleveland Browns. Then they give him the extension before the season last year, and he plays out. Like, there were opportunities. There were signs and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what this league does, man. Los Angeles Rams, Les Snead, they strike again.
They strike
They
again.
absolutely strike again. But this is along the lines of Howie Roseman. Every single season, like Howie Roseman, no matter how good the team is, how many All-Pros you see, and how it's structured, they're always making a move. They're always bringing a Tyreek Woolen in. They're always adding somebody where you're like, why are they at that? Because they're trying to get to the Super Bowl. Because they understand it takes a lot to be able to get to the NFC Championship, and then it takes even more to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, B-Lab, I was going to say, get some of those other moves that went down today for the NFL ready so we can also talk about those.
Absolutely.
Ray, here's a question. I mean, here's a super
Boy,
chat
oh
for
boy,
you.
this is a day. Like, this is what gets me excited. Myles Garrett getting out of the mistake by the lake, heading out to SoFi. Man, this is going to be interesting. You look at what he could do, because last year he broke the sack record. He's played 17, 16, 16, 16, 17. Every single year he's there. And now you're going to have a team in the Rams. They're going to score in the top three like they did last year, like they did the year before. Teams are going to have to
they just
contend.
improved the
And
defense.
and what do you have to do to score points? You got to throw the ball down the field. Now you got a guy in Myles Garrett that can get to that quarterback like no other. Now you got a guy like Trent McDuffie who can lock down your number one wide receiver. When you shape it up like that, you don't roster for roster. This team didn't make the playoffs last year. Start there when you say there's a better
I
roster.
forgot
over
the
here.
additions all the additions they made. I believe that they're the healthier roster, just kind of position group by position group than the Detroit Lions right now. And so even though we might have some stars across our roster, I believe right now they might be the more complete team between the Lions and the Rams. And when you look at what this move is for me personally, it's not necessarily
Might be.
about our edges versus their edges. It's about their edge versus our new. Look, I got faith in this new and hope in this new offensive line, but that's what it's about now. It's no longer their defensive line with Jared Verse, but it's now their defensive line with Myles Garrett going up against a new offensive line of the Detroit Lions. Some players switching around, things of that nature. It's going to be. This is a battle to me where the first thing I thought about selfishly was the Detroit Lions' chances in the NFC and how much are people's faith, shaken right now. We used to run around and we asked people a lot, you stoked or you scared? And that's what I want to be able to ask you guys right now in terms of the Detroit Lions, because you still win this thing on the football field.
Yeah.
You still have major belief in what Brad Holmes has done to improve this team's depth. It's not like the things that we talked about good about the Lions, where we like them heading, has changed. But you just see these teams at the top that they're going to be jockeying with, well, they're not slowing down. They're not just resting and saying, hey, you know what? We're competitive now. We're like the Lions want to be competitive. We're competitive. No, they're like, dang, you know what? What if we win? We added just a little bit more. Does that move us even inches ahead of the other team? That's how I feel like they're operating.
So let me ask you this, B-Lad. I'm going to position this to you.
Sure.
So the question was, well, not the question, because he said he believes the Lions roster is deeper. He believes the Lions is better. He just believes that they're top heavy. All right. Their defense. Just throw this out there. Kobe Turner, hell of a player at the defensive tackle. Yep. Nate Landman, how many landmines did the team step on when he was in that game? He's a monster. Now you have Myles Garrett. Now you have Trent McDuffie. You drafted a DB and Jalen White. Like, where do I go? Like, their defense is killing ours.
Right, and even in their secondary too, like Cameron Curl, like he's a beast safety. You got Trent McDuffie. Obviously, they traded for this season, or this offseason, I should say. And another thing is too,
Byron Murphy is a monster.
They're incredibly deep, and they were like in the top 10 as far as defensive stats go last year. So that's another thing where I was confused about depth. And when people were saying the Lions were deeper, we weren't though. Like we had the Legion of Whom out there for the last 8 weeks of the season,
and was proud of it.
I'm very proud of it, and I actually went to the game versus Tampa when the Legion of Whom got first introduced, and everyone was kind of all over it. And obviously, it was a little fun time there, but not until the very end when we got exposed. But there is some breaking news coming out on Twitter right now. Actually,
whoa. Even more breaking news.
This is where it gets sticky now.
Okay,
so.
Let's go.
The Cleveland Browns GM Andrew Berry is now talking about that the trade is not finalized.
Ooh.
So he's saying that, hold on now, that nothing's set in stone at the very moment. I'm looking to pull the clip up right now because they're currently interviewing him as we speak. During their OTA minicamp and stuff like this. But if this doesn't go through, all this smoke, he could really go anywhere. And obviously, this whole trade carousel and a lot of guys are getting signed to new places right now.
That's crazy.
But right now, this is what I'm seeing is
it started a domino of a couple other signings after his.
Exactly. And I was literally just telling Braylon when we were all kind of hanging out, I had stepped away. I'm sitting there scrolling on my phone. And I saw there was a rumor that the Eagles were making a push. The Cowboys were also making a push for Myles Garrett, and obviously the Rams as well.
So
and
he's
then
gone, but it's just a matter of
it's a matter on where he's going,
or where.
Exactly, and the picks and who they're gonna trade, because obviously trading Jared Verse, that's a big deal. That dude is a dog, and Cleveland, I see it in the chat as well. They're saying Cleveland didn't miss out, and I agree. Cleveland actually got better. Like I said, Myles Garrett's off the books, really expensive player. He's older. Obviously, the Rams are selling out to go win another Super Bowl for Stafford and stuff like this. But if the Browns can build a core around Jared Verse, they're going to be still elite defense. They have an elite defense. That's not their issue. They kind of if anything, upgraded for the future. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to keep my eye out on Twitter and see if anything goes through.
Oh, Ian Rappaport now agreed to an official. The Browns are trading Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, to the Rams.
Oh, there we go. All right. Well,
for Jared Verse, 2000.
It's official now.
First round, 2028 second round, and a 2029 third round.
Wow.
And legitimately, when we were having this conversation last year, when we were having this conversation offseason this year, we don't want to give up that much. You don't want to give up a first rounder?
I thought it would have taken two first.
You don't want to give up a second and a third?
I thought it would have taken two first, bro. I'm sitting here looking at it. It's one draft pick over the next 3 years.
People want to get money off the books.
Then the second, then the third.
People want to get money off the books. If you've been hiding under a rock, Myles Garrett trade official now, according to Ian Rappaport via Adam Scheffler. Myles Garrett, the Defensive Player of the Year in 2025, has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams.
Man, what a crazy day in the NFL.
What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Myles Garrett last year, 23 sacks, 14 the year before that, 14 the year before that, 16 and 16. So he is still very much on this game in year 9 of the Cleveland Browns. I don't think they got fleeced at all.
I don't think so. I think this is a win-win when you're talking about what the Rams are doing. And you talked about this. They're young core. They got some young players there. They're not as old as we're used to with the Rams in terms of doing that first Matthew Stafford run. So they can afford to say, you know what, maybe we can punt a couple draft picks right now because we know we expect these young dogs during this next 3, 4, 5 years to be the ones that we're rolling with, period. And if they don't work out, they just flip Jared Verse literally for Myles Garrett.
Yeah, realistically, for all the Lions fans in the chat that aren't worried, that aren't panicking, that's fine. How about we just stay in the NFC West? Because I guarantee you, a move like this, you will see Seattle make a move. You will see Hell yeah. Seattle has to do something.
They have to do something now.
It is about a situation where you have to respond. Yeah, a lot of times, well, we don't have to respond. You got to respond to a move like this. Myles Garrett changes the complexity of that team. He changes that division, and he damn sure changes the complexity of this conference.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're not worried about the Rams, let's move past the Rams for 2 seconds. If you're not worried about Myles Garrett, if you're not worried about the Rams, then who else do you see in this conversation? Because right now the conversation is the Los Angeles Rams, and you believe it's your Detroit Lions who did not make the playoffs last year. Who's the conversation? Because right now, NFC, the front runner is the Rams.
You know what? I kind of want to look at some of these other super chats that we have in the system.
Go
and
ahead.
I want to give
Go
the
ahead.
chat some time during a break as well.
Yeah.
To be able to tell us as well.
This is a lot.
Because you're right. You know what? I believe that the power, in the NFC has just shifted. And I'm wondering what people feel out there. Because
But it was there already. Like, I legitimately said the Rams are the best
You thought it was
team.
all. I was drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid though.
Kool-Aid on what?
I was appreciating the fact that their offensive line, what I believe made the Lions special, with their offensive line, Jared Goff, and you got your battery. I know it's not quite David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, but Jahmyr Gibbs and Taz back there with Pacheco. I thought, you know what, this offense has an opportunity to get back to winning new.
They got a new nickname. They got a new nickname. Speaking of Isaiah Pacheco and Jahmyr Gibbs, they have one. So it's no longer Sonic and Knuckles. It's the Fast and the Furious.
Fast and the Furious.
That's so creative,
That,
man.
to me, I
Fast
thought, you know
and
what?
Furious.
We got this offense back. Yeah. Back when our defense, even when we knew, we might give up 28 to 35, but y'all going to have to come in here and score the 30 to 35 to 40 points on us because we know what our offense can do as long as you keep Jared Goff clean. I think they're there now.
I like the number scheme.
Yeah.
I missed the 26, man.
And 28. It's
Dog, look at this, though. I like the Fast and the Furious name.
because it has a play on cars, has a play on the whole 9 yards. That is the Motor City, yada, yada, yada. But that Rams move, that was a heck of a move, man. It's interesting. It's interesting to have this conversation. We'll get into more of that.
Oh, yeah.
Bombshell drop. Los Angeles Rams are not trying to play any games.
They're
not playing any games.
I think that they're showing exactly what it means to do. We come off of a season where we just heard we're good with AQM at the edge.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
You know what? Let's do this. Let's let the chat respond a little bit more to this. Let's pay some bills. And when we come back, let's get into the beginning of the conversation that we were going to have today. What are the 3 reasons into why the Detroit Lions this year? Why are you so comfortable that they're better than the Rams? Why are you so confident that this is the team, that they're back this year? We'll get into that conversation when we come back. First, let me get a message in from Loom. Oh, you know what? Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Over 2,700 gyms around the country. They got a gym around you, man. I'm telling you, it's not too far from the house. Pull up. Got trainers on staff. There's no judgments. Home of the judgment-free zone. And everything in the gym is clean, squeaky clean. They are always cleaning. In fact, it is a little bit too clean, if you ask me, Kool-Aid. But this is the gym for you, man. We're all strong on this planet, and that planet is Planet Fitness.
And then Kool-Aid, tell us about Art and Jake's.
Definitely will. There are regular sports bars, and then there's Art and Jake's. Nobody else even comes close on game day. And if you guys have ever pulled up to or watched one of our watch parties from there, then you already know what we're talking about. Got over 80 wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, and a menu packed with fan favorites. They've got exactly what you're looking for, especially when you're ready to see the Rams and the Lions showdown at some point in time this season. But look, make sure to scan that QR code on your screen or download the A&J mobile app today to join AJ's fan club and follow them at Art and Jake's on socials. Find a location near you today, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faves.
New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive, thrive.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive, thrive.
Summer just got serious. Upgrade introducing new buzzing energy from Loom. The same smooth THC buzz you love, now paired with clean boost of caffeine from green tea extract. Made with real fruit juice, no artificial sweeteners, buzzing energy is bold in flavor. That is true. Light in calories and built for long summer days and long summer nights. Try it in refreshing peach and raspberry lemonade cracker can. Catch a buzz and keep the good vibes going. Talk about Loom, talk about buzzing.
And we're excited to welcome our new partners here at WSN, Founders Brewing at the legendary All Day IPA. This makes the 15-year anniversary of All Day IPA. Really helped define the session IPA category, but its fans are what made it last. It's citrusy, crisp, and refreshing with a perfectly balanced taste. All Day IPA comes with a 4.7 ABV, is built to go to the distance for the entire day, or game, that is. So next time you're watching the game, make it an All Day IPA from Founders, and please drink responsibly.
And we back.
We are back. And we started the show with the news of the day, which is Myles Garrett being traded to the Los Angeles Rams for Gerard Reverse. Now, I'm going to let you, Kool-Aid, I'm going to let you do the super chats, let you get everybody caught up, but I did want to read one. And the one that I want to read is by Matt N. 1122, $4.99. We appreciate you, man. Keep tapping in, keep hitting the like button.
Appreciate you.
Brad needs to be serious with these calls. Teams aren't going to give their players away cheap. Fans are getting upset when they hear Brad made a call. And I appreciate that comment because legitimately, I got tired of hearing that 2 years ago. Like, I definitely got tired of hearing that. It doesn't matter to me if you're not going to go in all on the big players and big names. It is what it is. I said my piece. I feel how I feel. But when you always come out, it's like, well, you know, we were in on the T.J. Hendrickson. Well, you know, we made calls to Max Crosby. Well, we tested the water for Myles Garrett in 25. I want to see it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. To make a phone call just to say you made a phone call is BS. I absolutely agree with you, Matt, on that 1,000%. Like, if you're going to make the phone call, call with the intent that maybe this guy could change the trajectory of the team that I represent. And for you out there talking about Myles Garrett isn't as good as Hutch, y'all MFers are crazy. Like, y'all, like, we not doing that on this show. We ain't doing that on this show. Like, Myles Garrett has been 14 sacks or more over the last 6 years, and last year he broke the sack record. What are we talking about? Don't stop being those type of Lions fans. It's okay to like your team. It's okay to support your team. It's okay to say Hutch is cold. It's okay to say Hutch is top 5. You might even say Hutch is top 3. Hutch is better than Myles Garrett. Stop it. Absolutely stop it.
Sheesh. But look, this is some of the sentiment I'm seeing in the chat as well, and I'm hoping the chat can definitely let us know what they're feeling about the Lions' chances as Super Bowl contenders in the NFC this year. Because look, I saw this one too before I thought it would be live for some super chats. Look, Anakin Skywalker, one of our OGs, said just because we didn't make a trade doesn't mean that we are not contenders. And my question is this: is it enough to be contenders, or do you have to know that you can actually go toe-to-toe with the big boys? Because I don't want there to be some separation between the Lions and Rams that were like with the Pistons. Like, oh, yeah, you know what? We believe that they can do some things in the playoffs, but if they get to the finals, we don't believe in them. Like, what are we actually talking about? Are the Lions better than the Rams? Because if they meet in the playoffs, that's all that's going to matter, not if the Lions are actually contenders. And I do still believe that the Lions have everything in front of them. I do believe that they're talented. I do believe they're going to have a better season than last year. But the Rams, they chose not to stay put at a very, very kind of auspicious time right now. I wasn't expecting to see a name as big and as active as this one being moved right now to an actual contender. So at this stage, I wonder, to be a fly on the wall of the Detroit Lions, like I know Dan Campbell, this type of stuff doesn't rattle him. And that's the one component of it is like, you know what? We've seen the Detroit Lions go up against some of these super teams of sorts and not look rattled. They've had the game plan, and they can do what they do. But I am curious to see what the people out there feel about it, too.
Realistically, and as you talk about contender, you've been a contender for the last 3 years. At what point do you not want to be more? At what point do you not want to be more? Yeah, you want to play that game? Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a contender. The Carolina Panthers are a contender. Do I get to go over? The San Francisco 49ers are a contender. The Seattle Seahawks are returning Super Bowl champs and a contender. The Rams, Super Bowl champs at this point, in my mind. How many contenders do we need? Okay, let's go to the NFC East. The Cowboys, they're going to be a better team this year. They're a contender. The Eagles, they're a contender. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels is back this year. He's a contender. Let's go to our division. The Green Bay Packers, for as much as you don't like them, and I know you hate Lambeau Field, they're a contender. The Chicago Bears and the Iceman, psych, they're a contender. Everybody is a contender if you want to play that game. When do you want to get to the top of the mountain? When do you want to get to a point where it's like us and 2 others? When do you want to make a move where it's like, you know what, yeah, we added blank, and we feel like blank is going to add this. We added blank, who's an all-pro last 2 seasons, and we know what he's going to do when he gets here. So when you talk contender, like I'm not arguing and yelling because they got Myles Garrett to the Rams. I'm not arguing over that. At the end of the day, I think the Lions will play that team, and we'll see what happens in that day. We'll see what happens over the duration of the season. We'll see the moves that we add and how it made us better. What I'm saying is at this very moment, they are a much, much better contender than we are. They don't use the contender. Don't use the contender because we could point out a bunch of teams that are contenders. But at what point are you tired of being a contender? Because that was part of Anson's stick when we first started talking about that 4 years ago.
Comes full circle.
First 4 years ago, he was like, hey, that's not what Brad wants to do. Brad doesn't want to go out there and give up draft capital. He doesn't want to sacrifice the draft capital. Brad doesn't want to sacrifice the coin. They want to have the draft capital. They want to build through the draft, and they want to have the money in the free agent to pay their guys. And I bought into that. Kool-Aid, B-Last, Sweet Potato Cam, I bought in. That's all right, cool. All right, cool. Especially when you go from 3-13-1 to 9-8. Oh, okay, we're 9-8. Then you go from 9-8 to 12-5. Okay. Then you go from 12-5 to 15-2. All while not adding those type of players and those pieces in the offseason. Now, what happened last year following that same Here's a little bit. Here's $1 million. Here's $2 million. Here's a guy. What happened when that penny pension, it caught up with you?
Caught up.
And you were 9-8.
That bubble
and
burst.
you didn't make the playoffs. And a lot of you out there still think it's because the Lions players got injured, if you will. So when I'm having a conversation, miss me with the contention. Because you were in contention last year, the year before that, year before that, year before that, and what happened? At some point, to get something you never had, you got to do something you've never done.
And I do wonder here, I see Nora Lifestyle in the chat. I don't know if he's talking to us or other people, but he said, y'all doing this tripping, but they still got to put the pads on and play the games. Detroit versus everybody. Definitely still believe in Detroit Lions. But I do want to ask you guys this. Who are your top 3 contenders in the NFC right now? And be honest. Be truthful about it. And are the Detroit Lions in your top 3? I could have just kind of squeezed it a little bit more and said your top 2 contenders in NFC. And can you realistically put the Detroit Lions even in your top 3, let alone your top 2?
I like that. Add this to it, because this is the conversation that we're going to have at some point today. Why do you believe in the Lions?
There you go.
Start putting that in the
There you
chat.
go.
What are the 3 reasons why you believe in the Lions? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see some of these conversations into why you believe in this team so much. So much. Because for you to say, well, we're still a better team than Los Angeles Rams, they went to the second round. They went to the NFC Championship last year. They made these moves after going
And you
to
know
the
what?
NFC
And we were
Championship.
sweating. We were on the edge of our seats like, please lose.
Like
I remember that.
legitimately. What are the reasons you believe? Because one of the
Feels like
things,
we got lucky that they lost.
100%. Because one of the reasons, and I'm going to shoot this reason down, and Kool-Aid, B-Lad, Sweet Potato Cam, if you guys use this reason too, I'm going to shut it down. The next person I hear tell me, well, we are playing a last place schedule. That right there tells me that tells me you don't believe in your team. Because true champs, they're not talking about who we play. Like, 2 champions are people that believe in what the squad could be. They ain't looking at the schedule and saying, oh, yeah, we play this team, so we're going to be good. They just believe in the team that's on their roster. They believe in what that locker room is. So if one of your if one of your reasons is, well, the schedule, you've already lost me. Because I don't want to hear about the schedule. Because champs ain't worried about who they playing. They ready to line it up and knock it down. Why do you believe in the Detroit Lions in the 2026 season? Why? Like, what are the reasons? Like, you know what? I'll knock another one down. Because I was in Chicago. Put that picture up of Coast and Loveland and I, if you will. Ran into Chicago. I was in Chicago in Schaumburg Convention Center. Had a chance to see Coast and Loveland. Manungai was there. Luther Burden was there. A couple other guys signing on. See, all my merch is this way. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it look like I don't have no merch in there. All my merch is this way. All my merch is this way. But I'm talking to those guys, and they believe in those guys. And I asked him, I said, you know, one Michigan man to another. Why you guys? They said, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson. So for you guys, the first thing you're going to throw out there is I believe in Dan Campbell. Do you believe in Dan Campbell since Ben Johnson left?
Lions fans believe in Ben Johnson.
Like, do you believe in Dan Campbell, or do you believe in what Dan Campbell was when Ben Johnson was there? Because that's Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson. They tooting his horn. They believe in who he is, 1,000%. And that's all I heard there. Man, y'all let him get out the building. Well, I mean, he couldn't have been the head coach, so we ain't let him go. But they believe in Ben Johnson. So don't give me it's an easy schedule. All right, we'll see about that. If that's what you believe, then you don't believe in your team 100%.
It's like, is the Lions' contention for Super Bowl based on the fact that they have an easy schedule, or based on the fact that you believe they can line up with the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFC and knock them out the park? And then when you get to the Super Bowl, actually have an opportunity to compete and win that game. And that's why I can't wait to see what a lot of the fans have to say about it. I saw we had some other Super Chats kind of file in there, too.
Woo! Football season.
It's football season in the air, man. Shout out to the people, too, for smashing that like button. We got a lot of them in there. Let's zoom past this like gold. Seriously, let's make sure that these streams wind up in the Rams algorithm, Browns, NFC North, everybody. Right here on Woodward Sports, man. Y'all already know. Braylon's cooking up already. Like, this thing has been dope. It's fun times, man.
This is fun.
And there's been a lot of other moves, too. So definitely the Super Chats, and then I know we got those other moves throughout the day, because there's been a lot of them.
Yeah. Let's dive into these Super Chats and let me know if...
I could have been tight end at this point.
I know. He does look pretty big. I'm like, dang. But let's dive into these Super Chats. Let me know if we already touched on them. I was kind of messing with some stuff here. We have Michael Wary in the Super Chat today, $5 Super Chat. Rams traded away a good young player for an old man. Garrett won't make that big of a difference. Just watch. So that's pretty interesting right there.
Hold on. Let's go back. Hold on.
You got to massage it a little bit.
Let's go back.
At the massage show.
All right, here we go. You say he's an old man, right? I'm not even gonna read the years because he played 70. This is year 9 for him. All rookie team, second team All Pro, shortened season, first team All Pro, second team All Pro, defensive player of the year, All Pro, first team, defensive player of the year, All Pro, first team. That's what his resume reads like. Very similar. I appreciate that, Smokey. Very similar to another guy that just retired for the Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald. Like, that's how it read. So, Michael, you know I love you, man. Like, you know you might be on my Rushmore. You're my guy.
Yeah,
you're the
Mike.
like police, man. You legitimately are a major part of the show. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Don't say he's an old man. Like,
He said I knew Bray would have a rebuttal.
I think both teams won. Now, if you want to say both teams won, for sure. Myles Garrett is off the books in Cleveland. You bring in a young guy in Gerard Verse, and Gerard Verse is a problem. I wanted the Lions so bad to draft him. I wanted him to be a guy here. So I agree. He's a monster, and he's a player. Myles Garrett is not done.
He's not.
He is not done by a long shot.
I mean, he was elite last year.
All you really need him to do is just – you don't even need him to be 23 sack Myles Garrett. All you need out of him is 17.
I'm about to say 15,
That's a
16,
lot.
yeah.
All you need out of him for 3 years is 17 a year.
Yep.
Like 17 a year. 15 a year.
Yep.
Because what's going to happen is in those moments when Matt Stafford is out there gunning and running with your boy Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua and Blake Corum and Kyron Williams and the revamped offensive line, and either one of the tight ends they got 19 of them. They had a tight end last year I had never heard of. It got me 40 points on fantasy. And y'all know I'm not lying.
No.
And he wasn't even the second or third tight end. He wasn't even second. So you won't need that much out of him. Guys are going to be passing. It's going to be interesting. Same like the Lions. I expect Aiden Hutchinson to have a lot of sacks. You know why? Because the Lions are going to be putting up points on offense.
Hey, yo!
If Aiden doesn't get hurt 2 seasons ago, Aiden Hutchinson would have been in that running for Defensive Player of the Year because he would have been on point because teams have to pass the ball to beat the Lions who are scoring those type of points. That's what you're going to get out of Los Angeles Rams.
No doubt about it, man. Spot on, Bray. Yeah. And we have another super chat from Joe Mazzola 8996, a $2 super chat. Petition to get Braylon in the Lions front office.
Hey. You know
Shout out.
Shout out, man. You know what? Ohio State and Michigan, man. We can work together, Chris. Come on, Chris Spielman. We can work together, man. I was a big fan back in the day. Nah, but at the end of the day, man, like the Lions don't – you march to the beat of your own drum. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Sheila, how they want to run the team is how they want to run the team. They want to draft their guys. They want to pay their guys when the guys show up. And then they want to patchwork it throughout. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. But at some point you got to bring in a guy that you got to bring in a player or two that you know coming in what that player brings. Like when we bring players to the Lions in the last 4 seasons, with the exception of Carlton Davis and C.J. Gardner-Johnson at the time, with the exception of those two, like you're bringing in guys where you got to tell me when the player got hurt and they haven't been the same since that moment, or he's a damn good player but he was fighting for the 3rd spot in the slot, or he's a really good linebacker that can play both, or he's a defensive tackle that can also play on the outside as well as the inside. Every time we bring in players to Detroit, it's always you got to add something to it. You ain't got to add nothing when you put Myles Garrett on your team. What I got to say to that?
This is why
when
Lions
you add
fans
Trent
are calling for
McDuffie,
it.
I don't have to say Trent McDuffie and then tell you why. Yep. Like, when are we going to get a player or two that when you bring him in here, you can be excited? It ain't about me. It's about – I'm a new Lions fan, and I'm like this. It's you guys. At what point do you not want to bring in a player that you like, hey,
but
did you hear?
They did want to, though.
Did you hear?
But as soon as it happens –
DJ Wonham. Hey, did you hear?
Larry and Juice.
Hey, you ready? Roger McCreary, who I like. But not like this.
No, but that's
we don't need David Montgomery. We got Isaiah Pacheco.
And then David Montgomery got the bag.
We got Rodrigo.
Got some
David
money.
Montgomery about
got
to
some
have
chickens,
a season,
bro.
I
do too. He looks sad too, but you know what? Noir Lifestyle says y'all be talking like the Lions are garbage. Look, I know the second hour we're definitely gonna get a lot more
Somebody
into.
said we talk like the Lions are garbage.
Look,
were they in the playoffs last year? Answer that. Hard stop. Were the Lions in the playoffs last year?
This hurts, dog. No.
Like, hard stop. Were the Lions in the playoffs last year? No one said they were garbage. But this is the problem this is the problem in today's society when you try to hold people accountable.
Right.
We never said the Lions were garbage. They're not. They got too many studs to be garbage. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, what? Jack Campbell, what? Aiden Hutchinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, J-Mo, Jared Goff, like Panay.
DJ Warner.
You got stuck. See?
Here we go.
See, you blew it. Like I was cooking with grease. I was showing my Lions some love, and then you hit me with the BS. We're not saying that this isn't a good team. I'm just saying at what point do you bring in that piece that's not drafted, that's ready right now to turn your franchise upside down? And it doesn't have to be a Myles Garrett. Like, I'm not clamoring for the Myles Garrett, Trent McDuffie, or Micah Parsons last year to the Green Bay Packers. I'm just more so saying pay attention to the trend. You don't have to do everything the Eagles are doing.
I'm glad you said
You don't have to do everything Les Snead is doing, but you can take little pieces. Like, I didn't build my career or build what I wanted to be off one player and all the flaws. I was like, ooh, I'm going to take a little bit of Randy, and I want to take a little bit of T.O., but I want to take Chris Carter and the way that he approaches the game. I want to take the seriousness of a Marvin Harris. Like, you take a bunch to create what's yours. The Lions can add another element to how they add pieces and what they value. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, to be able to talk about what these top contending teams that we can call Super Bowl organizations, Super Bowl winning organizations, that's what I'm looking at. What are they doing to separate themselves from the contenders? Yeah. And that's where, when I look at the Lions, if you're telling me the moves to separate from the contenders is like Zadarius Smith at the trade deadline, I'm like, I don't quite know if that's it. I know we liked it, but there was a time when Lions fans wanted Myles Garrett. There was a time when Lions fans wanted Max Crosby. There was a time when Lions fans screamed for Trey Hendrickson.
Yes.
So it's like we did want these guys. Just because they got traded to another team doesn't mean right now we have to act as if, oh, no, skip that. I can still believe in the Detroit Lions and try to be as realistic as I possibly can with them. These other squads have made moves. I remember fighting the people during the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, talking about, no, the Lions, they did right. Brad we trust, blah, blah, blah. I remember fighting that fight. Had a whole picture of Kool-Aid fighting that fight. And right now it might be about just 3/4 full. It's still probably up a little higher than where Braylon's is. And look, he's probably being a lot more factual and true on it. I do have some hope in there, and I saw some people address that earlier, man. But, it's not necessarily to kind of go back to New Orleans Lifestyles thing about talking about the Lions like they're garbage. I don't think it's like talking about them like they're garbage. I just believe with the expectation of a Super Bowl, not the aspect of just being competitive, being playoff contenders, being kind of good. Look, bro, I don't want that. That's the Philadelphia 76ers of the NBA. That's the process stuff. That's every year you're going to be in the playoffs, but do you really believe your team is winning a ring? I teased Philadelphia 76ers for, like, their fans for years. Like, I dedicated probably 15% of Woodward Pistons. That's way too much time in podcasts to teasing them on this. And now all of a sudden it looks like the Lions might be on that same path, and I'm telling you, it doesn't feel good to me. Can I be happy about success? Yes, but at what point in time is not doing what Super Bowl teams do, that trend? At what point in time is that something that you want to see your team move beyond? I want to see them get there.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just want them to see. I want to see them get there. I want to see them make moves, and I want to see them add a little bit more. Like, for all of you people saying we're out here talking like the Lions are garbage, we're not. The Lions aren't a garbage team. What I'm talking like is I'm looking through this lens. 2 seasons ago, the Lions had the best record in the NFL. They went 15-2. 15-2, and that's what got you guys excited, isn't it? What they do in the playoffs? Did they have a playoff win that year? Oh, that's right, they didn't. So they lost that year. So they went 15-2. They lost in the playoffs. They followed it up with nothing in the offseason. They followed that up with a draft that we're still trying to see what it was like. And then they went out and went 9-8. Because, I forgot a point. They told us we were good. Now I can come back. Then they went 9-8. So no one's talking like they're not good. I'm talking through the lens of watching what's happened. 15-2 and nothing to show for it. Told me we were good and didn't make the playoffs. No one's not talking like they're good. I'm tired of watching other teams make moves where I'm like, and it's in your own conference. So no. No, at the end of the day, no, not today. Not today. Today, B-Lad, is a situation where I'm just like, damn it, At what point can we bring in one player where I can tell my mom, hey mom, we bought in such and such. She's like, oh, I know him.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh snap.
Like, I can't like when my mom knows ball. Like her, my father obviously you get it, and me, so she knows ball. When can we bring a player in that you guys love and that my mom knows who he is? That's all.
Exactly right. And you would think that the Lions see all these moves going around and they would also improve their team. I actually commented that on their social media. It actually got a lot of traction. But we have another super chat from I was mad, man.
Wait, you lobbed the bomb? Hold on, you got to expand on this just a little.
Yeah, no. So, it was last season. I forgot what game it was. It might have been after Pittsburgh.
The Vikings.
Actually, it was.
Yes,
it was
the
against
Vikings
the
and the
Yes.
Steelers.
I was gonna say it was either against Pittsburgh or the Vikings, but it was against the Vikings. I'm driving home from my family's house, obviously Christmas Day, and I was just so upset. And like as soon as the Lions dropped their like final score post, I dropped a 2-sentence comment, and it was like you would think I'm not no GM or anything, but you would think that when everyone's getting better around you, you would follow suit. You would do the same. And I ended up getting like 600 something likes on it, but that's another thing too.
Support there.
Yeah, I was emotional. But we also have Rando Smalls in here with a $10 super chat. Heard all of this negativity each year with the Tigers and Lions. Lions will be fine. Garrett will get hurt. Never the same. Tigers will still make the playoffs.
Shout out Rando Smalls.
Shout out to Rando Smalls. You're the GOAT, brother.
All right, I don't like to talk about other players getting hurt. That's not what we do here. Like, we don't need to talk about players getting hurt so we can feel good about ourselves. Like, if you don't believe Myles Garrett is going to be that Rando, because you know I love you. If you don't believe Rando's going to I'm talking to you. If you don't believe Myles is going to be that, then for sure you can say that. But we don't want him to get hurt.
Correct.
Because karma is a bitch. And we're going to wish that he was hurt, and guess what? You're going to look up and one of your players is hurt.
Exactly,
so we won't
one
do
of your
that.
most important guys, too.
We won't do that. I just say I haven't seen it. Like, this is not a situation where I'm looking like this isn't TJ Watt. This ain't that's not a joke. It's the truth. This ain't TJ Watt. Where you know TJ Watt is missing 8 games a year or 4 games a year. Let me say 4. I don't want to disrespect the man. You know he's gonna miss 4 games a year at some point. That ain't Myles Garrett. And as it relates to the Tigers, you have got to be smoking some. I don't know what it is.
Come on, Bray. Thomas Roro said we're supposed to have faith in Drew Pecker Petzing. Come on.
So
man.
2 things. One, the Tigers are done. They lost their 8th series in a row this past weekend. They also got swept.
That's tough.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
Legitimately. I was looking at the game, the one on, was it Friday night or was it Saturday? The one they lost in the 10th?
Saturday.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at legitimately. I said, you know what? If I was a betting man, it was legitimately the Tigers were up and they had just switched to the bottom of the 10th. I said, if I was a betting man, I'd put $1,000 right now on the White Sox to win this game. I was just like, it was like plus 6. It was like plus 1,200 or something like that. I said, man, just put 1,000. Lo and behold, a walk-off. So relax.
No.
Absolutely not with the Detroit Tigers. I don't want to hear any of that.
No.
Keep the super chats rolling in, guys, because you guys are killing it right now. We have a lot of super chats to get through.
A lot of likes too, man.
We have Teddy Fresh 8644 with the $5 super chat. Kool-Aid, hope is not a strategy.
Hey.
I mean, he's being true. For me, I like the moves that they've done, so we have to wait to see if more pans out.
What
we
about
have to
the moves
see
that you
Campbell
like?
without Anzo.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, and that's not fair. What about the moves that you like?
I like this conversation, though. You know, I like the fact that they did go and address the edge rush position. I know we wanted them to go and get a Crosby, get a Hendrickson, or get a Myles Garrett, but they did go and pay some attention to it, with also looking out for the future that they do pay their own players. So if you're going to start paying a lot of other players, can you afford to go out there and do some of these other deals? I would like to see them in a vacuum for 1 or 2 year do it, but I do understand it. So I like the fact that they went and they've got some, not just a player, but some depth. I believe Moore is going to prove to be your day one guy. The offensive line, I absolutely love what they've done with their offensive line. To go on ahead and get K. Mays, and then you go and you followed up with Blake Miller, which was not just a favorite around here, kind of a consensus amongst our office, but also amongst Lions fans and other people out there in national media and scouts and such.
Right, we filled some holes.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely love that. And for me personally, I like the fact that I believe the pass catchers are in a better position this year going forward. For me, it's about the offense. We've seen the defense struggle. We've seen the defense missing pieces throughout. But what's always been the recipe for success for this team is, you know, the opportunistic defense that they've had, make turnovers in the red zone, but that offense. We knew that we were challenging every team that we showed up to. You're going to have to come prepared to score 25 or 30 points each and every game. And so I'm looking forward to Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams taking that next step. reducing some of those drops, being a lot more reliable, and Isaac Tesla stepping into a little bit more after the large investment that they put into him. So
those are
my 3 things.
Here's one of my biggest issues. Now, and those are cool.
Yeah.
And those are cool. One of my biggest
Talk
issues.
to me.
One of my biggest issues is like people talk about the money. People talk about the saving. People talk about this. Like when I tell you every player that you bring in didn't have to be a Myles Garrett. Every player that you bring in doesn't have to be a Max Crosby. Doesn't have to be a Trey Hendrickson. How many deals did we see, B-Lad, that were done in free agency? Soon as it happened, soon as it started, we were like, oh, you mean to tell me Boye Mafe went 3 years, $60 million? You mean to tell me Devin Lloyd went 3 years, $45 million? You mean to tell me Nakobe Dean went 3 years, $36 million? You mean to tell me Devin Bush, 30 years, $30 million? You mean to tell me Bradley Chubb, 3 years, $48 million? You mean, and the list goes on. Yeah. Okonkwo. That's where you start to get a little frustrated. And look, I know this might be a pipe dream, except for to the Los Angeles Rams. I know Trey Hendrickson was a pipe dream, except to the Baltimore Ravens. I know Max Crosby, he's still there. But there were other players that you could have gotten that could help make this team good, and you still would have had your money to pay Jack Campbell. You still would have had your money to extend Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that's where you see a little frustration in my eyes.
Yeah, no, 100% too. And I remember that day. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was literally on Twitter. Next thing you know, another name goes. I'm like, dang. Another name goes. I'm like, dang.
Affordable.
The Jets are loading up. Like, you know, like Panthers are loading up. Eagles are loading up. And I'm like, oh, gosh. Like, like I almost kind of panicked in a way. And, you know, there was another side of me where I was like, okay, like this doesn't really mean all that much. Like, obviously, there's still a big, long off season. But I remember some people, especially some of my friends back home, that were like legitimately filled with rage. Like, why can't this be us? This, and that. And it does get to a certain point where when you see other teams genuinely improving like that much over and over again, you would think that we would have to follow suit and return with that. But Michael Wary actually dropped 2 super chats back-to-back, one $2 and one $5 super chat. Michael Wary, shout out to him. He said, y'all act like Garrett was the missing piece, not in all caps. And then his 3 reasons why he believes in the Detroit Lions. Okay. Number 1, the defense will be better. Number 2, the O-line will be better. Number 3, the offense will be creative again. So he thinks that the additions with Petzing and with Kafka, they'll have that creative bond, that, you know, that mindset to not to kind of go away from those same tendencies we had with John Morton last year. Yeah. Definitely agree with 2 out of those 3, 100%. What do you guys think about that as well?
The defense is the one that that's what I'm a little questionable of, bro.
But that's not something that you can validate 100% now. That's something that you're once again hoping, which is your words. You're hoping that Drew Petzing and Mike Kafka work. We all last week, what I said, yeah, maybe we're not giving them a fair shake. But I still don't know. I don't know. You still got 3 chefs in the kitchen. You got Dan Campbell, Drew Petzing, and Mike Kafka. How do we know that that's going to work? How do we know that Drew Petzing was really the individual that a lot of people were clamoring for, and we just so happened to get him? Meanwhile, him and Dan Campbell have the same agent. How do we know the defensive line is going to be better? How do I know Aleem McNeil is going to be back to what he was 2 seasons ago? How do I know Talik Williams wasn't a miss? Because like I told you, I said I watched all the Michigan-Ohio State games. I did not know he was on the team.
Yep. And it looked like
not know he was there. So how do you know the D-line is going to be better? Offensive line, I give you that one.
And that's where, you know, absolutely. You look at last year, you know what was missing to me? A whole lot of Kirby Joseph turnovers. Yeah. That's what was missing to me. Who was leading the league in interceptions since this guy came into the league? That's why he earned that contract. And last year you saw this team go out there and they were not a team able to turn over the other team, make plays on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. That's what they were able to do this in the red zone. They were able to do this at the end of games. They were able to do this in clutch. Think about it. I think all of us remember a couple times where whether it was Kirby Joseph or Iffy or others or Brian Branch who have helped the Detroit Lions close the game on a defensive stand. A takeaway, a turnover. We all remember Brian Branch just kind of running in the wind against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. We all remember that type of stuff. That was sorely missing last year from the Detroit Lions defense. And that's where 2 of those things I definitely agree with. The third one, the defense, is where I have hope because of what Braylon was talking about. Those intermediate signings that the Lions could have had. I get it. Yeah. We get the headlines with your Hendricksons. Yeah. We get the headlines with your Crosbys. We get the headlines with your Garretts, and we can all talk about that. But you called out a bunch of picks that, you know what, when you look at some of the mid picks we've done, some of these other teams have just done better. And if they would have done that, maybe my hope Hoping would be more about believing in the product because it would be players that's been there. It's not like you said, Myles Garrett has done this and he continues to play. One of those guys who not is he just an elite talent, but that best ability, being availability, he's there on the field. And those are things that matter.
And every time you see Myles Garrett, he's working out. And every time you see Myles Garrett, if he's not playing if he's not playing in the celebrity basketball game, which we're going to get into, because did you see Malik Neighbors? Did you see Cam Scatterboot at the Giants celebrity softball game? What idiots? Who the hell is running that franchise? We'll get into that later. But before we go to commercial break, put that picture back up here. He also has to be better this year.
Absolutely
That's
right.
fair.
He also has to be better this year. This is year 6. I don't want to hear anything about who's the offensive coordinator or who's the defensive coordinator or what players were injured. He has to be better this year. And I'm talking about Dan Campbell, a man that I believe in, but damn it, he's got to be better. We'll take a quick commercial break.
Absolutely.
And when we get back, we'll get some more of this, but some other stuff too. Also, got a special guest for you guys, man. We'll have that in a second for you.
Yes, sir, Braylon. Would you mind telling us about estates?
Man, I'm jacked up. I'm all jacked up on
fired up.
Yeah, he's fired up. Hey,
I got some chapstick, man. I'm out here rolling. Whether you're buying a home or refinancing, the Team Estates Title Agency, look, they just do it the best. Simply put, they make things simple and convenient, and that's what you need in your life. Over 20 years of experience, Kool-Aid, that's why they do it the right way. They have people on the team to make sure that you get everything that you need. You know what? They know you're busy. That's why they got late night closings. That's why they have weekends closing. By appointment. You book an appointment, they'll pull up on you. They will even pull up on you. Drop the location. They will pull up to get things done. They know you're busy, and that's why they do that. Look, man, for all your title needs, trust Mr. D's, the B-side.
And then, Kool-Aid, could you tell us about Pure Psychiatry?
I can. And look, we talk about sports every day. Wins, losses, pressure, expectations. But real life, that's not always easy. At Woodward Sports, you're never alone, and neither is your mental health journey. Pure Psychiatry provides personalized psychiatric care designed specifically for you, not a cookie-cutter plan. With 16 locations in Michigan and 2 in Ohio, they make getting help accessible and comfortable. If you've been thinking about taking that first step, visit PurePsychMI.com.
Check.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faiths.
New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
All right, Massage Chair House. Looking to take your relaxation to the next level? Then you've got to check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. They carry top brands like Infinity and Osaki, making it the go-to destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Be sure to visit Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
And those afternoon coffees are a thing of the past because I've upgraded my game with Thrive Energy pouches. This ain't your daddy's dip Kool-Aid. It's tobacco-free, nicotine-free, mental powerhouse smart caffeine. No sugar crash, zero bloating. Thrive can be found online at dipstop.com. Remember to use that promo code WSN for 15% off your entire order. Also found exclusively at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. Thrive Clean Energy. They flip and work, y'all.
And we back.
Definitely work, man. Welcome back to the second hour of the show. Okay, check this out, chat.
Chat's been crushing, by the way.
I will shout out to the chat. We always tell you it is because of you. You guys drive the show, and we appreciate you. Keep it coming. I will woosah right now. Remember, I was glass half full of Braylon, and I've been that way for about the last 3 months, and I'm still that way. However, a move like today, you see a move like this made, got my blood pressure up a little bit, got me boiling because I get excited because I want the Lions to eventually make moves like this. I want the Lions to be able to feel confident to make a move like this, and it won't disrupt the chemistry of the team. Because right now, that's also a part of, do you want to bring in a Brad guy? Do you want to bring in a Dan guy? Do you want to bring somebody that fits in the locker room in Allen Park? You bring in somebody that can play football on that level, it definitely does. So I'll calm back down because I didn't say the Lions were out of it. But I'm just tired of the same conversation, Kool-Aid.
Hey, definitely. And I think that's where some of the Lions fan base is. They want to see the Lions make that move, not the we're good. And then that player that was we're good is not even on the roster the next season. And realistically, even though we can be hopeful about what Moore can be as an edge rusher or the tandem or the depth that we have on that defensive line, realistically, it's still a rookie that we're hoping can step up and play as effective as we thought another elite or top-end edge rusher would be pairing up with Aiden Hutchinson. And so there is hope there for me. There is belief in the moves they made. I do believe that they're going to be a better football team than last year. But again, I continue to go right back to who are your top 3 contenders in the NFC right now, and are the Detroit Lions realistically one of those?
What are some of the comments in the chat, B-Lad? Because we're gonna switch gears in about 10 minutes, man. I got a guest for you that's gonna be dope, man. Motivational speaker, but it's not about him being a motivational speaker. It's about the journey to being a motivational speaker that we want to talk about and highlight. But B-Lad, any comments, conversation?
Yes,
Can he restore my hope?
He believes in the same man above that you do.
Amen.
So 100%.
Yes, sir. Keep firing away with these super chats, Chad. We really appreciate it. We have another super chat here. Matt N1122 with
Shout
a
out to Matt. Yeah, he
$5
been hot
super
today.
chat. Oh, yeah, he has.
He's been on it.
Brad needs to be serious with these calls. Teams aren't going to give up their players away for cheap. We already got this one? Okay, perfect. Did we get Focused Willis $5 super chat as well?
Talk about
it. We are cooked again. Need a defensive star at this point, which I kind of agree.
Yeah, I want to bring in that star. Obviously, at this point, you're looking at the rest of the free agent moves, and a lot of those guys are going to be older guys. Yeah, I saw Cam Jordan in the chat. Bobby Wagner has been the name for me. Even that is a situation that I welcome. He instantly helps that defense and turns that defense around. Even that's a move that you want him to make. Because that's one of those situations where it's like, why not Bobby Wagner? Like, what's the hold up on a Bobby Wagner? Are you holding up that he's going to bust up the chemistry? Is it a hold up that he wears the green dot, Jack Campbell wears the green dot? You can't have two guys fighting over the green dot. Even things like that drive me crazy.
But I've seen people in the chat, they believe that a Bobby Wagner is a serious move to the Detroit Lions still. And to me, I think what you just raised right there is it. If Jack Campbell is the green dot and you also moved on from a guy like Anzo, they did make investments amongst the linebacking core. But again, what is it? Kind of your retreads of your
Derek Barnes?
And Rosen. And that's it.
Is it Derek Barnes? Because I'm telling you like this. Please don't say that.
All I see is him sprawled out on the sideline, dog.
And that's all you need to see. That's the only thing I see. That's all you need to see.
And I'm a Barnes supporter. Like, I still want to believe.
I think he's a hell of a guy. He's a Big Ten dude.
I still want to believe. But these are the guys that we saw us go 9-8 with last year as well.
Yes.
Then when you're talking about what are the additions, other than Cade Mays, primarily it feels like there are rookies or second-year players that we're going to depend on this season. And that's been the formula. That's been the formula under Brad Holmes. It's been his guys, not just re-sign his guys, but depend on his guys. You see some of these other NFC North teams, Jared Verse was the Rams' guy. They picked him, bro. Can you imagine if we took one of our guys on a rookie deal and flipped him for a star? We would be shocked. Yeah. Even if we would be surprised, like celebrating that move, Lions fans would be like, whoa, what just happened? They don't make those types of moves. But when you're talking about getting closer and closer, not just playoff contention, more than the cute seasons like they talked about having, what do you see? You talked about the trend amongst your top teams. Well, they make these push all your chips in type of moves. And we just haven't seen the Lions do that yet.
Yeah, when I was with the Jets, I always talk about this. 2009, when I got traded there, we went to AFC Championship. Like, I don't know how we did it. Grit. We grinded. End of the year, figured it out, stayed in the fight. Yeah. It gave us an opportunity. We stuck a foot in the door. We opened it up, and we got to AFC Championship, and we lost. Like, we could have, like, Rex Ryan and Mike Tannenbaum, they could have said, we're good. Like, we made it. We got some young players. We got a really good offensive line. Nick Mango, rest in peace, to Brickashaw Ferguson. We look at this offensive line. Defense that year in 2009 was the number 3 defense in the league. We could have been good. You know what they did? They went and got LaDainian Tomlinson. They went and got Antonio Cromartie.
Those times. Goodness.
They went on and enhanced the team to bring more to the team. I appreciate where we are, but we can go a little bit further. And we went back to the AFC Championship, lost again, but I digress.
You got to keep it real. But look,
I digress.
Rich Baldwin in the chat, he puts his top 3 NFC contenders: Rams, Eagles, Cowboys. And I saw a couple other people as well who are just kind of putting in there. There's Jeff Shank says Rams, Philly, Seattle, and he put Cowboy. He put a 4th one just to let us know he don't even think the Lions are top 4 in terms of NFC contenders right now.
Yeah, I appreciate him adding that 4th one. So you knew. No. I wasn't skipping the Lions. I'm not taking them.
Just so you knew that we knew. And you know what? We got to get to some of those other moves around the NFL too.
Oh, yeah, we do. Absolutely.
What's up, bro?
You know what I love? I love that in the NFC conversation, like, you completely forgot about the NFC West too. That's what I love about this. That's what I love about this. Yeah, the Rams, don't forget who won the Super Bowl. And don't forget the other team that also had 12 wins last year in that division, the 49ers.
Yep. They were definitely part of my contending list as well. Some of the list of moves that were actually made today. Obviously, we have Myles Garrett on the Rams, Jared Verse going to the Browns, but we also have a full circle moment. It feels like 2016 again, ladies and gentlemen. Odell Beckham Jr. signed with the New York Giants today. I did not get the contract or how much he's getting paid or anything like that. Juju Smith-Schuster also got signed by the New York Giants today. And last but not least, Russell Wilson is not in the NFL anymore. He is now an analyst for, I believe, CBS. But that was just a funny – Russell Wilson.
Russ is going to be really good as an analyst. Like, I think he's going to be really good as an analyst. The Odell Beckham one, I like a lot. Like, for a multitude of reasons. I've always been a fan. Like, he was much watch TV back in his prime, especially with the Giants. But I like it now because he'll be in a mentorship role. Another one, his LSU, Bayou Tigers, and Malik Neighbors, he'll get a chance to mentor him a little bit and be able to finish his career with the Giants. And you're not looking for him to go out there and do anything more than maybe 2 touchdowns in the season and help. But I do like that move.
Absolutely.
I do like that move.
Absolutely. And we still have a lot of super chats to get to, so we're going to touch on these a little bit here before we go to our next break. We have Will.I.am550 with a $5 super chat. Myles Garrett would have brought the Lions in cap hell. We would not be able to pay Gibbs or anyone that we currently paid. Think about that,
Nobody's mad at Myles Garrett. Like, this is what happens. You guys listen to what you want to listen to. Hear me clearly. And this isn't me talking to you any type of crazy. I love you guys. This is me just talking. We're not saying Myles Garrett was the piece. We're just simply saying the Lions have never made a move with a player that coming in is going to be a game record, going to wreck the game, where we got him, this guy takes it up a notch. This guy takes us up a level. That's what we're saying. Where were you when I read those 9 names of the players that were signed for 3 years, 48, 3 years, 50, 3 years, 60, 2 years, 20? Like, there were a lot of those players. So it's not about Myles Garrett. It's just not about procuring the players that can help change your team right away. And I feel like if you get one of those players, you can stop some of that hope. Because I guarantee you, I hope. Say hope all the time, as much as we use hope and optimism, it's not a good thing.
You know why?
It's not a good thing.
Because the one year the Lions did go out there and do those types of moves, it was Carlton Davis and it was Zeitler. But for some reason, they decided we don't want them the next year after that.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand that.
That was the best offseason they've had.
That was the best one. Yeah. That was the one that I thought, let's continue to replicate
Kevin Zeitler.
Tell me we didn't miss both of them.
Oh, big time.
Sorely
we didn't need him next
season.
And it was affordable.
That's what I'm talking about. When you talk about those mid moves, like, I know we're going to hear the headlines. I know that we've wanted them to go out there and make that big swing because it would have been generational. And the Lions were actually in a position to do it because of the fact that they've drafted so well and have been able to rely on those young players playing impactful and important roles for them before those first contracts hit. Now that those contracts are having to be paid, the Lions are actually, it feels like you're right. They're playing themselves, whoever the commenter was, they're playing themselves out of the opportunity now to be able to do that. If they do, it's going to have to be these one-offs. And I think that you keep saying it, and I think people need to understand this. It's not about how good the team can be. It's about the trends of the teams that win Super Bowls. And if the Lions can't do the things that those teams are doing, make the moves that they're making, I do believe they're putting themselves just that much more behind the 8 ball. They're measuring themselves all offseason up against a team. And now all of a sudden training camp starts, and they say, you know what about that? Go back to the drawing board with that now. And then you have to believe that as you get closer to the trade deadline, if you look at the way this deal was structured for the Rams, even though I believe it was great for the Browns too, it was a win-win, it was a first-round pick in 1 year, a second-round pick the next year, a third-round pick 3 years from the day that they make the trade. Think about that. So they're not necessarily, it's expensive, but they're not necessarily wrecking their ability to go at the trade deadline and make another move if they want to. And you know what? We've seen the Rams do this before. So you're playing against a squad and against other teams because all the Eagles just saying, oh, man, the Rams did something. We're out of it now. No, I believe other teams in the NFC now are looking at this and saying, okay, what can we do, whether it's marginal or what can we do to go swing a big stick right now to not just keep pace, but put ourselves ahead.
Yeah, 1,000%. And both those teams you named, they've been to the conference championship 2 or more times. The Eagles been to Super Bowl twice in that window, and the Rams won a Super Bowl, came back, didn't make the playoffs, said F those picks, and then what happened that third year? They were forced to be reckoned with 12 wins, and last year 13 wins. Look, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, got a powerful young man that I'm glad to bring this conversation to you. We'll check in on him in a second, but let's get a message in from B-Lad.
Yes, sir. We have...
You tell me. I'm ready for you.
We have Buddies. Kool-Aid, would you mind telling us about Buddies?
Yeah, we got Buddies and the Water Hazard with you.
Yep.
All right, hey, Buddies Pizza celebrating 80 years of the original Detroit-style pizza and is grateful to be your hometown favorite. Follow their social channels and join their rewards program to see what they have planned throughout 2026. And you guys already know Buddies is really all we do over here for pizza.
Give me the Super Bowl trophy.
It's right. Braylon just took the Super Bowl trophy off of the desk right now. And you know what? I'm going to cheer myself up with some Buddies.
Where's
all right?
the NFL title?
Add some Detroit style to your next event with Buddies Catering. The menu is packed with fan favorites, including their award-winning pizza, signature salads, homestyle pastas, and more. Save 20% on your next order. Catering of 200 or more when you order with promo code Woodward20. I'm going to do that for my guy Braylon to make sure we cheer him up because I'm telling you, the Super Bowl trophy is off the desk right now. Visit buddieспizza.com/catering to view their complete menu and place your order today.
It just sucks, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my team, the Jets, and I know they ain't touching no Super Bowl trophy. And then I'm looking at my new adopted team, the Lions. I'm like, oh, my God. Now, check this out. Usually when you think hazard, you think it's a bad thing. But now when you're talking about the water hazard from Founders, we're excited to add the water hazard to the bullpen of our friends at Founders Brewing. You've probably seen the bright blue drink. Yeah, that's it. Lemon, preferably when you serve with an ice and a slice. Gotta add that lemon slice to it and make it refreshing, citrusy. But it's also only 5% ABV, man, so it's not going to be anything to go crazy. Just something to give you a nice chill vibe as you're golfing, as you're in the summer day, because summer is coming. So, the Water Hazard by Founders.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face.
New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Looking for the perfect spot to host your next party or get together, man, look for Black Rock Bar and Grill. It is a sizzle above the rest. And now they want to bring people into the event space, man. Whatever it is, the bridal showers are going up right now, graduations, prom, all these events. Why don't you come on down to Black Rock where they can make your experience a top rock experience. Food is great, home and steak on the stone. So you get a chance to sear that steak, sear that shrimp, sear that chicken the way you would like. And then they have specials. The daily specials are amazing. Tuesdays, Tasty Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sizzle Thursdays. Man, come on down, man. They're all around the state. If you want to check out the menu or check out an opportunity to, retain the space, go to blackrockrestaurants.com. And remember, they are a sizzle above the rest.
Buying a home or refinancing is a huge decision, and just like in sports, you need that right team directly behind you. Precisely why we're proud to welcome Supreme Lending to the Woodward Sports fam. As a full-service lender, they boast a 99% close-on time rate and 97% customer satisfaction score. But hold up, y'all. Here is the game changer. When you apply for that eligible loan, mention Woodward Sports and you'll receive up to $500 off your appraisal. Score this deal. Call Chad at 248-379-5214 and or Chris at 720-508-0621 at Supreme Lending today.
All right, welcome back to the Braylon Show here at Woodward Sports 2.0. Now, My guest today is a dynamic individual in the world of motivational speaking. We want to talk about how the real MJ Hill got there. We tell you all the time, look, man, sports isn't the only way to change lives. Sports is not the end-all, be-all. It's just something that we enjoy and have fun. There are bigger things going out there, and I think the space he's in is much bigger than sports. So I want to introduce my guy, the real MJ Hill. What's up, brother?
Let's go. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling real good. I feel your energy from over here, so I'm excited to get this interview going and, man, give some people some information about what you do. First and foremost, now, you're from Illinois,
yes, sir,
as well as Georgia.
Yep.
All right, so you got a little Illinois, Georgia background. A little bit me too. I was from Detroit, moved to Georgia when I was younger and moved back. So
Let's
a
go.
little
How old were you?
I moved to Lithonia, Georgia when I was 6.
When you were 6? Okay,
Yeah, when
cool.
I was 6.
had 6 years on you. I was 12.
Okay.
I moved to Georgia.
All right, respect. Say less. There it is. Talk about how you got into motivational speaking where now you're talking to over 100,000 around the world and people are listening to you, buying into what you do. But talk about how you got there and when you realized this is my call and why.
Man, when it came to speaking, I never saw myself doing it. I was always the student when the teacher would ask, who wants to present? Who wants to share their presentation? I'm asking to go to the bathroom. Like, ever since I was young, it just wasn't something I was necessarily comfortable with. Sports for me was everything. Basketball was the first ever sport that I picked up. I remember being in the 3rd grade, sitting on my granny couch and watching Derrick Rose in the Chicago Bulls.
Shout out D-Rose legend.
Come on.
Chicago.
Shout out
Shot
D-Rose.
time. Shot time.
So I knew from an early age that basketball, that's what I wanted to pursue. So I was that young, crazy kid would be in Granny's basement on the concrete, dribbling my ball. I would be up when I moved to Georgia, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. Before the bus came, I'm outside getting jump shots up. My neighbors, they despised me. They was like, why is this kid up so early? But I just had a very clear vision on what I wanted. And I knew that's how one day I could take care of my family, provide for the ones that I love. Fast forward to the summer of my 8th grade year, I ended up being outside, playing basketball, another day training, and I felt a sharp pain in my chest. Long story short, I ended up going to the doctor, ended up having to go to a cardiologist. The doctors come in, they run the x-rays on my chest and of my heart. And when the doctor came back with his results, he said, we found that you have holes in your heart. It went from a clear vision that I was gonna play basketball professionally, take care of my family in that way, chasing this dream, to you have holes in your heart, you gotta take 3 months off, and if the healing process doesn't go as planned, you can't play at the level that you want to. So for me at that time, just sharing my heart with you, I was hurt. I felt broken, because as an athlete, you can relate to this. It didn't just feel as if I lost a sport. It felt as if I lost a part of myself, 100%. And I remember during those 3 months, just looking back on it, I'm truly grateful, because in putting down that ball, I had to dive deeper into myself. And I had to really ask myself the question, who is Marquise outside of basketball? And in that time, I picked up my phone, young, passionate kid, and just started sharing my heart, just started sharing messages that I believed in. My biggest mindset was, if I can help one person going through a hard time in their life, that can bring me joy. And speaking, posting this content online, that became my outlet. And it went from nobody watching the videos when I was first getting started summer of my 8th grade year to fast forward 5 years later, we've built a platform of over 400,000 youth all around the world that tune into the videos, that tune into the content, and get messages from me around the messages of self-love, mental health, and overall them stepping fully into their greatness. And I've been very, very thankful for the schools and the organizations that have opened the door for me to come and speak to their youth as well.
Man, that's amazing, and God is good, man. To God be the glory.
Yes,
in a space like this, I think sometimes you'll have players like, I think Inky Johnson is another guy. 100%.
Love Ink.
Inky's another guy. His trajectory, he goes to the University of Tennessee. He's on the way to be a first-round draft pick and go to the NFL, and he doesn't. And now he's a motivational speaker, and he's championing millions around the world. For a lot of people in this chat, I think they may suffer that even if they don't have injuries be the one, maybe it just ends, and then they go through that space of what's next, how can I pull myself out of this? Talk about how you were able to pull yourself out of that, and talk about who helped you with that.
I feel like in that moment I had to ask myself a real question. This pivot I can either run from or I can embrace. And I don't know who out here I may be talking to, but there's going to come a part in your journey where you're going to face that roadblock and you're going to face that obstacle, and you're going to have a decision to make. you can either run from that pivot or you can embrace it. And one thing that I've learned is when you choose to embrace that pivot, that's where you find your biggest purpose. I never knew that I could reach and impact the amount of youth that I have. And by no means have I done it by myself. I give huge thanks to God. I give huge thanks to my family and my support system. But one thing that I will always say is if you are facing some level of adversity, it's not by accident. It can be either your greatest lesson that you use to propel you forward, or it can be the one excuse that you let hold you back for the rest of your life. So I would say the biggest thing for me in that moment, I had to be real with myself. I didn't want my life to be full of regret. I wanted my life to be full of purpose. And that's why, for me, I decided to use a gift that at a point I neglected because I only saw myself as an athlete. I had to give myself the opportunity to step outside that box and to express myself in a different way. And now my voice is creating positive impact in schools and working with youth all around the world.
Yeah, 1,000%, man. And just amazing stuff out of you. Last month was Mental Health Awareness Month in May. Shout out to Pure Psych, who we work with. What are the next steps now that you have people listening to you, now that they're listening to your voice, now that you feel like you have a message that you can pass out and feel confident about? Like, what are the next steps? How do you take this to the next level? Because I can feel the wheels turning inside your head of what you're trying. First of all, my name is Braylon. Don't be calling me sir.
My fault, Braylon. I got you.
You real MJ Hill, I'm Be Easy.
Let's go.
100%. But I can see the wheels turning in your head. Like, what's next for you in this journey?
Braylon, right now, I'm on the journey of touching 50,000 hearts. I've been traveling state to state. We've been traveling all around the world, going to different schools, working with youth, working with nonprofits, all around the message of self-love, mental health, and encouraging youth and giving them the tools and the mindset that they need to step into their greatness. So I'm putting together an experience like no other. I'm putting together an experience that for the youth is relatable. For the youth, it's the now. Yeah. I know for me, when I was in school, one thing I looked for is somebody that really saw me, that heard me, that connected with where I was in the current season of my life. And I feel like for me being 21 years old, that's really been what I've seen in the schools that I go into. Students come up to me after my presentations and they say, thank you. Thank you for actually giving me something that I needed, right? Not just talking at me, but having a conversation with me that gives me the opportunity to become a better version of myself. And for me, that's what I'm on a journey on to do right now. 50,000 hearts, that's my first goal so far. We're at 30,000. So to any school out here in the Detroit area, wherever you're at in the world, if you're watching, for any school, any nonprofit, any organization, if you are committed to pointing to the youth, please contact me. RealMJHill.com. That's RealMJHill.com. Let's make more impact together. And Braylon, after we get done with 50,000 hearts, I'm going to reach 100,000 hearts. I don't know who it's going to be right now, but I'm going to get somebody to sponsor this tour. Some of the biggest people that I dream to work with. Come on.
1,000%. Well, I'll tell you right here.
Let's go.
I'll tell you right now, you've already touched the heart on this stage. It's mine. I guarantee you've touched everybody that's in the studio. What I love about your message, this is before we let you go, is you have family. Yep. You have family that you can rely on and you depend on. A lot of times people don't understand kids have family but still go through things, still need things.
100%.
I like the fact, in this world that we're living in today, like more than ever, the youth, they need us. Yep. They need direction. They need guidance. They need people like yourself that can help them go through this, man. This is just powerful on another level, man. I thank God that you were able to bless the show today. I wasn't expecting this. Isn't it crazy how it works?
It's crazy how it works.
It's crazy
I appreciate you. I didn't know when I woke up this morning I'd be meeting a great dude like you, Braylon.
100%, man. I appreciate that. We got to get your information, man, because I would love to be one of those faces that you talk to.
Yes,
love to be one of those people that you shoot me a message and I can shoot you one back. Because people don't understand, man. All right, Cam. But I'm dead serious. Dead serious about getting information and reaching out from time to time. The work that you're doing, man, God continue to bless your journey.
I appreciate you,
Appreciate it. Hey, you heard that, RealMJHill.com. You heard the message, and I know a lot of you guys are struggling out there, man. Look, this is what it looks like. Being honest and having conversation with an individual. Like, 21 years old, that's it?
21. Fresh 21, too. March 25th. Just turned it.
Hey, you missed Pisces by about 4 days, 5 days. On February 21st, man. But we appreciate for having you on the show, man, and we look to see greatness out of you. We'll take a quick commercial break, man, and we'll get back and finish the show with some more sports, man. Stay tuned.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face.
New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Oh, we are back, man. It's Kool-Aid and Bray. What up, though?
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards.
Remember when
man?
I beat the shit out of Michigan State? Y'all remember that?
In the back of the
triple
end zone.
overtime.
I
was at that
Shout out,
game.
man.
Oh.
Hey, look, chat family, y'all been smashing that like button. If you ever got the opportunity to, go on ahead and treat it right, treat it nice. Man, it's a lot of people in the super chats have been flowing as well. But
that is true story.
was there a big trade that happened today? Lions fans are
you know what?
somewhat on the fence with
I
this
was told, and correct me if I'm
Mr.
wrong,
Elite, shout out.
that Jared Goff needs everything perfect around him to win a championship.
Talk to him.
Right?
Hey,
So
yeah.
I can only assume by the move the Rams made that Matthew Stafford needs everything perfect around him. Is that true?
That is true. That is
Because,
true.
I mean, the last time he did something, who'd they bring in?
Everybody.
Oh, they brought in Von Miller. They brought in Jalen Ramsey. They brought in Odell Beckham Jr., who, by the way, back in the league. Shout out to him.
Shout
This
out.
is crazy. To the Giants.
Dude's got talent.
Well, he made magic.
Yeah, and him and Jackson Dart, I don't know their relationship, but that locker room is something special, and they're gonna have some kumbayas in there. Braylon is back in the studio. I was just, oh no, you good, Braylon? All right. Well,
I did want to hear.
No, it's a great trade. It's a
I
great
wanted to
trade
hear,
for the Rams. Anytime you can get a player the caliber of MYLES Garrett, you go and do it. A lot of people are going to use this opportunity to pile on Brad Holmes. He doesn't go make these moves and all that.
I wanted to hear your take
Listen,
on this.
if Brad Holmes
here.
makes this move, we're in salary cap hell. You could just say goodbye to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
You could say goodbye to Jack Campbell. You could say goodbye to pretty much everybody on the roster. And I know the Jared Goff haters are going to be like, well, it's Jared Goff and his $60 million contract. It's like, yeah, Matthew Stafford carries a pretty high price dollar too. And that's the reason why they went and drafted somebody. But if you could add a MYLES Garrett and you had the wherewithal, plus, they had the guy to trade for MYLES Garrett, too. It's not like Cleveland got back a bag of shit. They got back a guy that can actually start.
Facts.
He can play, and it's the Browns, right? Like,
I saw
come
some
on, it's the
people
Browns.
already in the chat saying, hey, is there any way we could pick up the phone and convince the Browns some way to just reroute Jared Verse here? Man, just, you know what? Send his plane just a few miles north to Detroit so he can actually form some type of a great bookend here with Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, think about that duo. But, we talk about this all the time. Like MYLES Garrett. Okay, who's going to be opposite MYLES Garrett in L.A. right now? Crickets. Exactly. Nobody has two MYLES Garretts. Nobody has two Aiden Hutchinsons. There's nowhere in the league you can do that to where you put two bookends that are making $40 million a year, because then the rest of your defense is going to be absolute dog, you know what.
Yep.
So, I appreciate what the Rams did, but they had a hole to fill. They didn't have a dude like an Aiden Hutchinson. We already have our MYLES Garrett, and to get two of them would be nice, but no other team in the league does it because it can't be done financially.
Well, look,
we've
been asking the other three people as well.
Right, Brad?
Who are their top three in the NFC?
Who's got Houston? But they got a rookie contract, right?
True.
That's the difference. Houston was able to pull it off because they drafted those guys in the first round.
The dudes opposite of MYLES Garrett are going to be Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk.
Yeah, who? But he's not a caliber. He's not an all-pro player, right? Yeah, I'll let you. It's your show, bro.
Who are your top three teams in NFC real quick?
Lions, and Lions.
I should have expected. I threw the law.
I'm gonna tell you
Shout out
like
Spin
this.
Dog.
I'm gonna tell you like this: between Stick and Kool-Aid, I can't get enough. I can't get enough. You and Cade and Kool-Aid and Jared Goff, I absolutely love it.
Someone say Cade?
But what we were telling the chat, Stick,
Shout out Stick.
it wasn't about getting MYLES Garrett. Like, I don't care about MYLES Garrett. It's not that. It's just that believing that you have to build through the draft and that these little piecemeal moves are the only way to do it. I think for sometimes that frustrates myself and other people in the chat.
I'm a little frustrated too.
True, and I think I couldn't expand on my frustration when the Lions go 12-5 and get to the NFC Championship. I can't expand on my frustration when they go 15-2 and have the number 1 seed in the NFL. I can expand on that frustration where after that 15-2 season, you don't do anything in the offseason and leads to 9-8. And I understand injuries, this, that, and the third. Everybody gets injured, though.
But you know what? That was a season where the fans probably felt like, see, we were right. We were right. All up until that point, you had Brad Holmes proving that his way was the way to be unquestioned. And now you have this one season that does pull things into question, bookend with the fact that they didn't perform so well in the playoffs the year before. And I think that's what got a lot of fans kind of off the bandwagon of stoked, not scared, a little bit more scared, not stoked. Because now all the things that they said will catch up to us and keep the Detroit Lions from winning the Super Bowl, they feel like they all just happened last year. And did they do enough to actually, you know what, finally take this thing serious and say, you know what, we got to go out there, take a couple big swings, and put some players out there that we believe can truly move us into superstar potential. And this is the philosophy right now. Brad is trying to win via his drafted players and augmenting around, whereas the teams that we've kind of seen win in recent years, they have made some big moves to try and push their teams over the top.
Let me ask you this question, all right? Like, realistically, the Lions, let's say the Lions win 11 games this year, and let's say they lose in the first round of the playoffs. Or you know what? I'll do you one better. Let's say they win 11 games and they lose in the second round of the playoffs. Like, are we content? Like, is that a good season? Like, is that like, oh, we're still on trajectory. We made it to the playoffs. We got to the second round. It didn't go our way. Now we have another off season to get the pieces we need to make the moves. We make the moves.
I don't know, man. Because heartbreak sucks over and over again.
That's what I'm trying to say. Who does it fall on? Because right now, everybody is in agreement. They love Brad Holmes. They love Dan Campbell. They love Jared Goff. They love what this team is. That's fine. You didn't make the playoffs this year. What happens if this year, with the moves you made in the offseason, made in quotations in the draft, what if you 11 wins and you lose in the second round? Because is that success?
That's not it.
That's not success. Who's at fault? Is it Dan Campbell? Is it Brad Holmes? Is it the roster? Or are we going to come back here and talk about, well, this player got injured, this player got injured, this player got injured?
Make all the different excuses and such. And it's interesting that you asked that, because realistically, I wonder where Lions fans are at.
That's what I'm asking.
Because we'll hear them push back on certain notions that Anson will say. But in reality, if that is what happens to the Lions this year and everybody's just kind of easy peasy and okay, then what are you actually accepting? You know, is that the formula they just found out, hey, you know what, we kind of put something out there that kind of percolates. Never really going to give you the full shebang, but at least you can say we got to a few bases. Like what is that? Like, I'm serious. So, but if you're just getting to a few bases year after year after year, even though they're selling you on a whole lot more, at what point in time are you like, you know what, the jig is up? And that's where I do believe with some of these fans, even though there are things to be hopeful for, there are some people who, when we saw it with their top three, and some people decided, I'm going to give y'all a fourth just so you know the Lions ain't in it. They're not as confident in the Detroit Lions anymore. There were times when there was less to believe in the Detroit Lions, and people were still more stoked, and their hope was more about belief in things. But now I think people believe that maybe Brad Holmes and his way might have reached a bubble point in terms of it bursting. Is Brad Holmes' way a way that you believe in can get the Detroit Lions a Super Bowl? Because realistically, it's going to be on his guys, not on a guy out there. We've seen all this stuff. We've heard the Max Crosby stuff and all this, and now I'm really starting to believe, how real were these deals, or was it just him picking up the phone just to be able to have his name in the news cycle of having looked at this stuff? Because realistically, the track record is it's going to be his guys or the highway. Is that sustainable for a Super Bowl in this era? We called him a genius. We called him a wizard for years. But is that way going to get the Lions there?
Let me ask this question too. Stick said it's not Myles Garrett. And I never said it was Myles Garrett. I told you guys that during the show. I said I'm just talking about teams making moves, teams not staying still. Like I talked about with the Red Wings and the Tigers. Like, do you need Riley Green? Do you need Dylan Larkin? These things. Stick said Myles Garrett's not the missing piece. And he's not. He wasn't. I disagree potentially, but they can't afford him. If that's the case, then why were you talking to Max Crosby? If that's the case, then why were you talking to Trey Hendrickson?
Yep.
Like, if that's the case, then why were these phone calls?
They said they knocked on the door of Garrett, too.
And
that was reported.
So, like, if he's not the missing piece, then why is your mad scientist having those conversations or trying to see if he can penny pinch his way to a Hall of Fame player?
Does this tell us that they're going to go and they're just going to continue to lace their guys with the money, though?
Yeah.
Because that's what this is telling me. That
and they're showing us nothing different.
This notion of wondering who's going to be signed next, who are they going to give the money to? Blah, blah. Listen, Decker, gone. Enzo, gone. Demo, gone. But all the players he's drafted, injury or not, paid. You get paid. That's what I'm saying. And now I'm wondering, okay, I like some of these guys, and yes, they are studs, and this is what feeds into our belief of the Detroit Lions. But the question is going to continue to be, is it enough? And I would love to see the chat family continue to put their top 3 teams in NFC in the chat. Obviously, we heard Sticks. He said his is the Lions. Yeah. But, Bray, what do you think, man, when you think of those top 3 teams in NFC right now? And I know the new Super Bowl odds have come out. And surprise, the Rams are the favorite to come out of the NFC.
First of all, they're in the minus before the season starts. Just let's start there. They're in the minus. I don't know if you know anything about gambling. Like, they're in the minus already to start the season. I mean, like someone said earlier, like, it's on paper. Like, we get it. It's on paper. You got to go through a season. You got to make it through injuries and the whole 9 yards. So it is on paper. But right now, on paper, they look damn good. You want to talk about my 3? I'm going with the obvious. I think I don't even want to say it when I loud, scare people, but I'm going with the Rams.
I thought you were going to say Cowboys.
I want to.
Don't scare us.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I really
kind of look good, dog.
I really want to say him so bad. Like,
Dak Prescott is talking
crazy. The only reason why I won't say him is because I know who their head coach is. Like, he was my offensive coordinator. He cost us two trips to the Super Bowl.
He's like, I know
Brian Schottenheimer. So I can't fully depend on him. To be honest, I don't know. Because I want to say San Francisco. I want to say the Cowboys, the Eagles. And I already said the Rams, Lions are one of those teams. Like, I don't know who the 3 is. I know who the 1 is, and everybody else is in the mix. Like, the 1 is you know who, and everybody else is in the mix. That division alone had 3 teams that won 12 games last year.
Hey, look,
12 games or more.
The chat just threw theirs in here. I'm saying Steve-O, baby, the Rams are just going to dominate. Bogey Time just said R.I.P. Lions. Duncan Stewart said Seahawks. Tampa Bay, and maybe the Giants. J-Mo and Joe Mo, Lion King, says Rams, Eagles, and he believes in the Lions.
Okay.
So that's the first person today to actually have the Lions in their top 3.
I like that.
Dana, Rams, Giants, Seahawks. So I'm not seeing anybody else who's really stating that they believe that the Detroit Lions are going to be top 3 contenders. Dana Oshana, I don't think we are a contender. When you have to say top 3 teams, I get it. Not that you can't play it out.
Absolutely fair. And being honest, you shouldn't have the Lions in there right now. Like, you shouldn't. Like, I know the Lions are contending. I know the offensive line will be bigger. But, like, Cade Mays wasn't Tyler Linderbaum. Cade Mays had issues, too. He was the 4th best center in free agency, which makes him the what center in the league. So, Blake Miller wasn't Caden Proctor or the guys that came before him. He was a guy that missed 1 game, missed 1 practice.
What do you mean? Brad wasn't trying to trade for Proctor.
So I'm just saying, like, it's not a given that those things are going to change. Hey, look, I want to take a quick commercial break. Just 2 seconds. I want to revamp. We'll come back. Interesting stuff out of New York. You bring the Giants up. We got to talk about this celebrity game and what these guys are doing. Would you like your guys doing this? In fact, one of your guys has done that last year in the All-Star game for the NBA. And then also, quick Michigan topic. I got a chance to take a picture with some guys that I knew all too well, and I want to ask you, who are the top 5 running backs in Michigan football history? We'll get back with you in a quick commercial break. See you in 2 and 2 if you know Chuck Woodward.
Steve-O, baby, preach, Braylon, preach.
Hey, 1,000%.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. Don't miss all the Detroit Pistons coverage on Woodward Pistons on YouTube. Head over and subscribe now for in-depth Pistons coverage, player interviews, roundtables, and live watch parties. The bad boys of Detroit media are here. Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face.
New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
We back.
All right, back. Last segment of the show. This has been a hell of a show, man. Like,
Great
one thing,
show.
this is what I like about doing sports shows. The first time it happened, I can't remember when, but I noticed when stories break last minute, it doesn't matter what you were going to talk about. You got to scrap them, you come up with a show, you have fun. But a lot of times they're your best shows. They're your best shows. You get engagement for 2 hours, man. So love the energy. Shout out to the people. You guys deserve all the credit for the day. We should be smashing the like button on you guys. We'll clean up some super chats and 2 quick things before we get out of here. Kool-Aid, B-Lad, where we at with the super chats?
That's right, lad.
Yes, sir. Let me pull these super chats back up. The
Super
chat was
chat.
killing it today.
Yeah,
Let me tell you guys
absolutely.
that real quick. Hold on a second here. It's loading up on my screen.
Load them up.
And if you guys have more super chats, more takes, keep dropping them. Right now, we have a super chat from Shep777 with a $10 super chat. Golf Elite, Gibbs Elite, Amon-Ra St. Brown Elite, J-Mo Above Average, Campbell Elite, Sewell Elite, Hutch Elite, New OC, 12 personnel, run the damn ball, control the clock. That's why I believe.
You know what? Let's go.
That was a good one. That was
At
a
least he
good
bought
one.
his receipts.
You know what?
Exactly
I like all
right.
that, but all that was true last year, with the exception of Drew Petzing. Everything that you just said was true
They
last
tried
year.
to sell us on
And
Johnny
you-
Morton.
Not only
Morton,
didn't make the Super Bowl, you didn't make the playoffs.
True story. Spot on, right on the nose. We have another super chat here from Eric Minion Sr. We have a $5 super chat.
Shout
Brad,
out.
tell me you want to win a Super Bowl without doing anything to win it. Interesting stuff out of Eric there. Thank you for the super chat. We have Desert Stallion 1416 with a $2 super chat.
Yeah.
Wanham plus second this year and third next year. Next year for verse BH do it.
Like, that deal couldn't get you Braylon Edwards. that deal couldn't get you B-Easy.
Sorry about that. The typing there at the end, everything was
Nah,
all
man, so
connected.
What's
So
happening when the Lions go, hey, we have DJ Wanham. What are the Browns doing to the first trade? Click.
What? Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Hello? Did you not hear me? Yeah, I heard you. That's why I hung up on you.
pick up the phone, baby.
No,
I think we
bitch.
got disconnected.
No, bitch. I can't do it.
All right.
Can't do it. Won't do it. What was that, Mike Singletary?
We
Can't win with him.
Rando Smalls back at it again
Oh,
with
shoot.
a $5
Shout out,
super
man.
chat.
Truck.
We have question to all. How many games did you watch during the 0-16 season?
I was in league, so.
Yeah,
I attended
was
2
5
of
years
those
old.
games. So sad.
I'm trying to think, did we play the Lions?
Was trying to see Michael Vick live on Thanksgiving. He
Dang.
didn't even lace him up.
And they still lost.
So salty.
Oh, was that Joey Harrington? Oh wait, no, that wouldn't have been Harrington. That'd have been Matt Schwab.
Matt Schaub?
That might have been Matt Schwab.
Matt Schaub.
I think it
That's
was
good
Matt
poll.
Schwab because he was the backup quarterback before he went to the Texans.
Wow.
It might have been Schwab.
What a poll.
It was Millen and Mordenwig, though. That's all I know.
Morning way.
Yeah, man, Marty Morton was.
Disaster.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
It was a disaster. All right, quick. Is that all?
We have 1, 2, 3 more.
Oh, go ahead. Bring
We
more.
have,
Shout out, chat.
yeah,
I
shout out
appreciate
to the
you
chat.
guys,
Thank
man.
you guys so much for the super chats.
Smash
Really
that like
appreciate it.
button.
And also smash that like button, no doubt about that. We have another one from Eric Minion Sr. The Lions always make trades in the draft for unproven players, but won't make a trade for a proven player who can help now.
Ooh,
Kind of spot on with that one. I
like
can't
it.
lie.
I
I
like
can't
it.
lie.
I like that comment. That is a real comment.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
fair.
100%. Great super chat there. We have Nor Life Style. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. 9-8 with the $5 super chat. Sorry for botching your name. Apparently, the Rams to the Super Bowl is a slam dunk. What will be the narrative if they don't make the Super Bowl appearance? Because I'm curious.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Realistically, like at the end of the day, I just said, like, they look good on paper. They do have to go out there and do it, but they got a great head start on paper when you look at bringing in Myles Garrett and moving on. So, if they don't make it, then we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
see what it is.
Sports can be weird. Sports can be weird. especially
Last
the game
year
of
was
football.
special teams and a DB for them, and they went and got the DB.
Yep.
They fired the special teams coach, and then they went and bought Myles Garrett in. So
Yep.
even in this situation, I don't know if they don't get the Super Bowl or not. They legitimately looked at what the season was last year. They looked at why they fell short, and they went out and addressed those issues in major fashion. That's, I think, what you're asking your team to do. If you look at what happens and why you're not successful, okay, cool. Now let's go out and correct these situations. Let's go out and correct. The Lions' offensive line was bad last year. They brought in Cade Mays. They drafted Blake Miller. They didn't waste any time. So that's a notch in their cap, if you will. I agree 100%. They went out and drafted Derek Moore. This was a good offseason in terms of addressing the needs and the things. Now, did they address those needs with the players of value that can get the bang for your buck? That's the question we're asking.
Yep. Spot on with that one. And the last but not least, we have Rando Smalls once again with a $5 super chat. We don't side big names, comma, Mitchell, Swiling, and Flowers, question mark. I believe Flowers was during the Patricia era.
Quintricia.
Yes, I believe all of those might have been Quintricia, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, they tried to do it, and they failed.
Yeah, Quintricia era.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Wait, did the Packers make some type of signing or something?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Did they make
Look,
look while you're doing that, get the Michigans up. So put the picture up. This was
yeah.
They made a move?
No, the Michigan thing.
At the autograph signing event in Chicago, got a chance to be with Michigan royalty. See if you know these guys in the chat. These are running backs. Green Bay did make a move?
Yes, they did. They're working on a trade involving Josh Sweat from the Cardinals.
The Cardinals?
Yep.
Josh Sweat was the Commanders 2 years ago, and now, or he was with the Bears?
I believe that was Montez Sweat on the Bears, Josh Sweat on the Cardinals. I believe Sweat was on the Eagles before.
Eagles, you're right, 100% right. It's just not a guy you know? It's just not
right,
a player
like big name guy that definitely was on my radar.
Yeah, 100%. And guess what? He was available. I say that. Two Michigan legends right here. Got a chance to see at the autograph event. Tyrone Wheatley, and then obviously A-Train, Anthony Thomas. Lot of touchdowns in this picture. How many touchdowns would you guess are these three players at Michigan? How many touchdowns? And this is what made me think about what are the 5 best running backs in Michigan history. Because of potentially with 2 of them right here. Potentially. Keyword potentially. All right, I'll help you out. 40,
over 100.
38.
120?
38, 55, and 30 and 40.
I was going to say 120.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
So you're talking over 130 touchdowns between us
insane.
three. Between us three.
Get my guy Bray into the College Football Hall of Fame.
I appreciate it. This ain't about me right now. I appreciate it. It's not about me right now. All right. So top 5 running backs, Michigan history. Who would you think? Obviously, when you look at it, you'll typically know how old players are. All right, I'll put mine up there. This is what I got for you. Honorable mention before I put it up there is Chris Perry. Shout out to Chris Perry. Chris Perry, my running back for the first 3 years of my whole career. Chris Perry finished 4th in the Heisman in 2003, like 6'1" running back, feet were elite, had size, could run. Chris was legit. Chris was a problem, man. So Chris would be honorable mention, but he doesn't make the top 5. Throw the list up there if you would. There it is at number 5, Chimanga Biaka Batuka.
You know it, baby.
I was at the game in 1995 against Ohio State. Tyrone Wheatley would have won the Heisman that year. Tyrone Wheatley would have been a first-round draft pick that year, but he breaks his ankle. He goes down. Chimanga played 1,800 yards is what he had that year, and he had 313 of them in the Ohio State game. And I will never forget because 313 is Detroit, baby. Number 4, the heir apparent Tyrone Wheatley out of Inkster. He was a problem. Big running back, 300-meter dash, and he wasn't even a 100-meter. He was a hurdler, all-state hurdler. But when you saw it, just do me a favor. Go back and look at the 1991 Rose Bowl, Michigan versus Washington. Look at what Tyrone Wheatley did. Number 3, Blake Corum. This was an interesting one. Because I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to put Blake Corum in the top 5. I said it's a recency bias. Also, he split time. He wasn't even a starting running back when they won in 21. He was a starting running back and got hurt in 22. He didn't play against Ohio State. And in 23, he split time again. So I was like, I don't know. skill set is everything. Like, Blake could play. Blake could run between the tackles, and before he messes his ankle up, he can get to the outside, stiff arm, and he can catch it out of the backfield. I think his skill set and leadership warrants him to be on this list. Number 2, got to go to a little bit of the old school. I know a lot of you guys are looking for A-Train. No, I'm not going to make it on my list. Honorable mention number 2. Butch Woolfolk. This was a running back when my dad was there. He was a monster. Over 3,600 yards and 24 touchdowns. And he split time. If he didn't have to split time, he'd had 2,000 yards in 1980. And also, he was a first-round draft pick. Don't sleep. And number 1, it's not because I played with him. It's because everything I saw. This is back in the day where there was no running back 2. There was one running back, and you're going to carry the load. And that's what Mike Hart did. And he famously coined the phrase, little brother. So shout out to Mike Hart. 4 years, started as a freshman, and he get 4 years. So these would be my top 5 running backs in Michigan history. Yeah. A lot of running backs in Michigan history, man. You're talking a ground and pound school. But this is what I'm going with, and that is we'll do the New York Giants deal tomorrow.
We can do that.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. It's already 4:01, man. Get you guys out of here.
Football's in the air.
It's been a hell of a show. You can smell it.
Yeah.
I smell grass, popcorn. Yeah, man. It's getting close. You guys getting excited? You feeling good?
Man.
Hey, look, chat.
Excited.
We appreciate you guys, man. It's been a hell of a show. Enjoy the rest of your Monday and tune back in tomorrow. Tell your people about the show. Show us Cooking with Grease, man. It's the Braylon Show Show on Woodward Sports 2.0. For Kool-Aid, Sweet Potato Cam, and B-Lad,
Smash the like
we are the crew. You know what to do.
Yes, sir.